Emotionally intense relationship with a friend. Am I experiencing limerence, a soul connection, or just being used for validation? I have a deeply magnetic connection with a close friend that feels like it transcends labels. We have spent countless hours talking, traveled together, and shared moments that feel intimate and meaningful, but she is also in a relationship with someone else. She never explicitly confirmed or denied our interactions as dates, but always showed up. I do not know if I am caught in limerence, if we are karmically connected, or if she is just enjoying my presence while keeping me at arm's length for her own reasons. I am looking for nuanced perspectives. I, a 28-year-old female, met my friend, a 33-year-old female, at an event back in 2021, and from the moment we met, we clicked. There was an instant pull-long, deep conversations, effortless understanding, and a sense of recognition that felt beyond just surface attraction. For the first few months, we exchanged innocuous, surface-level conversations, just checking on each other's mental health. We were both working in different places overseas during that time. Our first real hangout, almost a year after our initial meeting, was accidental but lasted hours and hours, the kind of deep connection that makes time disappear. When I saw her again, it felt as though we were the only two people in the room. The second she saw me, I was instantly greeted with that familiar, warm, joyous energy. When we locked eyes, I cannot explain it fully. It just felt like a knowing of sorts. I do not think I have ever seen someone part a crowd like that to get to me. When we embraced, it felt familiar, like returning home after a long work trip to someone who loves you, having prepared your favorite meal, run a bath with a nice glass of wine, lit a few candles, and had groovy lo-fi music playing in the background. I was just grateful to be home to peace. We did not have plans to hang out, but after embracing, we became inseparable. As the festival was getting rowdy, my group of friends and I decided to take an Uber to a local bar closer to our downtown apartment. Guess who came with us? While at the bar, we got some food and drinks. As I was about to pay, she slapped my hand and paid for us and my friends. Not going to lie, that was a turn on. In hindsight, this next interaction made me really consider that she may just be using me for my top-tier attention. One of my friends had invited a few acquaintances to join, and one of these new people was flirting with me. I was not paying it any attention beyond being polite. The girl I am enamored with was looking at me almost like I was a piece of meat at this point. However, we had been exclusively flirting all night, and she was also a bit tipsy. So I just gave her a wink, and she returned it with a blushed, coy smile. At that moment, I was already very much into her. My mind was playing out our entire lives at this point. It is probably the cancer in me. While I was having conversations with my friend, I overheard the woman I like talking to the acquaintance. She was telling the acquaintance how amazing and attractive she thinks I am. Then she turned to catch my gaze while speaking to the acquaintance and said, clear as day, I'm going to have sexual relations with her fine self. It felt like a claim, a moment of possession, but also a test. Would I react? Would I take it seriously? Aside from that comment, the entire evening before and after that moment felt very different. After leaving our friends, we spent hours alone in front of a local lake discussing our pasts, hopes, dreams, and plans for our individual futures while indulging in adult beverages. Many things unfolded, all initiated by her, PG-13 of course. In my opinion, those first intimate moments should have been more sober. Plus, I am a romantic. That kind of push-pull dynamic has defined our connection ever since. We continued to spend time together, going on what felt like dates, me calling them dates, and her never rejecting the term but also never confirming it. She would set things up, invite me, and treat me with a level of attention and care that felt more than friendship. The reciprocal level of attention was intense and intriguing for me. Then came a moment of clarity, or maybe just contradiction. During one of our late-night conversations, she stated that she would never date a woman again. That confused me because, well, what is this then? Our dynamic has never felt strictly platonic. There have been intimate moments, not just emotional intimacy, but physical closeness moments that felt like desire but were never fully acted upon. If it were just friendship, why did she never establish clear boundaries? Why did she allow the connection to continue in such an ambiguous way? The complication. The other person. I later discovered, not through her but through context clues, that she had been actively dating at least one other person the whole time. That alone might not have been a significant issue. People can have multiple connections, but what struck me was that she never openly talked about them with me, unless it was to mention vaguely how the person she was seeing possessed some quality that she first noticed in me and admired. What is the point of comparing our qualities? Is this somehow girl talk? And if so, why is it important to point out similarities between us? Recently, she asked me if I was seeing anyone, and I mentioned that I wanted to focus on securing some additional certifications and paying down the debt on my home before settling down. The irony: I only discovered her boyfriend being a serious option as her partner from her recent birthday invitation, where his name was listed. Oddly, I know everyone else by name on this invite list. I looked him up, yes, maybe I should not have, and there were years' worth of occasional pictures of them together, but she never once shared a photo with me. Though these photos appeared to be platonic and sporadic, it seems they made it more official recently. Personally, whatever our relationship is has helped me discover parts of myself that I am truly grateful for. In the past few months, I have released the need to feel needed. This girl has sparked some self-healing I did not know could happen, and that is why I feel okay being friends and not considering a future together. If you love someone or something, let it go. I am grateful to be here. When she talks about him, she seems happy, so I am happy. At the end of the day, I do love her, but I know I love myself more. That has made all the difference. However, sometimes when she talks about him, it feels oddly detached, like a relationship based on logic, stability, and cultural alignment rather than passion. She has previously stated that she prefers dating within her race for financial and cultural reasons, but this guy is not from that background. I know people can change and evolve, so while I was surprised by this seemingly drastic switch, I just accepted that it was her new normal. When I asked why she chose him, she basically said he adores her and is obsessed with her culture, which makes her feel safe. It is strange because I know her to be fiercely independent, dominant, and controlling in her relationships. However, together, we create a balance. When she is right, and I have been given that same respect. We laugh, engage in deep conversations, travel to far and adventurous places, and do life together. We are so in tune that we often do or say exactly what the other person needs without prior discussion. We have solved so many problems together, I cannot even begin to list them all. With him, it seems she plays a more passive role, letting him adore her while maintaining a level of emotional separation where she may still hold the power dynamic. Not sure since we rarely talk about him. They are moving in together this month, and he is essentially responsible for finding and securing their apartment. In contrast, he does provide additional and cherished emotional and financial support, which starkly contrasts what she has been used to based on the relationships she has shared with me. For that, I am genuinely grateful. So what is this relationship, really? At this point, I feel like I am oscillating between different interpretations of what is happening here. Is this Limerence? Am I just caught up in a psychological or emotional fixation because she represents something I deeply crave? The connection is so intense, but I wonder if I am just projecting meaning onto someone who enjoys my energy but is not actually choosing me. Is this a past life or karmic connection? The instant familiarity, the pull, the unspoken communication, it feels like something deeper. Have we experienced this before? Are we tied together in some way that needs resolution? If so, what is the lesson I am supposed to learn? Is she using me for emotional validation? Does she just like how I make her feel, knowing I offer depth, care, and emotional nourishment? Am I her safe space, the person she keeps around because I nourish her in a way her partner does not? Is this just a situationship where she holds the power? She initiates the dynamic, but never provides full clarity. She allows me to feel special, but never too special. She draws me in, but maintains an emotional firewall. I often feel like I am giving much more energy than I receive, not because she is cruel, but because she enjoys my presence without needing to provide me with certainty in return. What I know for sure, what I do not need help with, I am not delusional. I know something is real here. I am grateful for the relationship, even if it is complicated. I have grown and learned about myself from this connection. I do not need her, but I deeply value what we have shared. I no longer feel jealous about her dating someone else. It is more about understanding what I am to her. What I am still wondering, does this connection have the potential to evolve into something more? Or is it destined to remain undefined? How do I gain clarity from her without forcing a conversation she does not want to have? Am I meant to walk away, or is there still something valuable to gain from this relationship? How do I protect my own energy while still appreciating what we have? If you have been in a similar situation, how did you navigate it? I know this is lengthy and layered, but if you have read this far, I appreciate you. I am seeking honest, thoughtful responses, whether that is insight into limerence, past life bonds, emotional power dynamics, or your own similar experiences. Have you ever had a connection that felt magnetic but undefined? How did you know when to lean in versus when to let go? How do you obtain clarity from someone who thrives on keeping things unspoken? Thank you in advance for your perspectives.